The one thing, the surprisingly simple truth behind extraordinary results, by Gary Keller. Not thinking big can hold you back from your greater possibilities. When Arthur Guinness started his first brewery, he had more than just brewing a few stouts in mind. He signed a 9,000-year lease on the building. In the same way, J.K. Rowling imagined a 7-book series about life at Hogwarts, even before writing the first chapter of the first book. Both of these individuals became incredibly successful, in part because they were not afraid to think big, beginning with a grand vision of success before even starting to work towards it is one way to think big. It is hard to believe they would have reached such heights if they had not thought big to begin with. However, for many people, the idea of big achievements or grand ideas can be scary and bring up negative feelings, like being overwhelmed or intimidated. These negative thoughts often stop people from thinking big. When we do not think big and let these negative feelings control us, our thinking becomes small and we reduce our potential. We end up limiting our own success and settling for mediocrity. Think about science and how much progress would have been slowed down if someone had not dared to imagine previous unthinkable possibilities, such as humans breathing underwater, or flying through the air, or even exploring space and landing on the moon. History shows that we have consistently underestimated our own capabilities. So we should not let the limits we currently perceive hold us back from our dreams. To achieve success, we need to take action, and action starts with thought. But to reach extraordinary outcomes, our actions must be grounded in big thinking from the beginning. Organize your tasks. Not all of them have the same level of importance. Many people create to-do lists from time to time to keep track of tasks they need to finish when life gets a little busy. But once you have your list, how do you choose which task to tackle first? Do you begin with the tasks that take the longest, or finish the small ones first? Or maybe you work through them in the order you just happen to write them down. Actually, it is likely that only a few of them will make a significant impact on your day or your life, and those should be given top priority. This idea comes from the work of Joseph F. Duran, a pioneer in quality control management. While working at General Motors, he found that most of the defects in their cars came from just a few production issues. It was the same couple things over and over. It was obvious to him that fixing these problematic areas should be his main focus. Duran called this discovery the Pareto principle, named after an Italian economist who created a model for wealth and income distribution in the 19th century. In the model, Pareto demonstrated that 80% of the land was owned by 20% of the population. Duran noticed that these percentages matched his findings. 80% of the defects came from just 20% of the issues. Duran realized that this 80-20 principle might actually be a universal rule. 80% of your results or outcomes always come from 20% of your work or efforts. The lesson from this principle is clear. The tasks on your to-do list do not all have equal importance. Only a small number of them will contribute to your success. Organize your tasks to focus on the ones that will provide the biggest portion of your results. Using the focusing question can help you prioritize tasks, create actionable steps, and reach your goals. Mark Twain once said about success, quote, "The secret of getting ahead, you see, is getting started. And the secret of getting started, you hear, is breaking your complex, overwhelming tasks into small, manageable tasks, and starting on that first one." I don't know if that's how he talked, but that's how it sounds in my head. This advice is helpful, but figuring out where you want to go and what the first task should be can be tricky. This is where the focusing question comes in. It is a question designed to help you determine both your destination and how to begin your journey. Here's the question. What is the one thing I can do such that by doing it, everything else will become easier or unnecessary? You can ask this question on two levels, each serving a different purpose. First, on a larger scale, the focusing question helps you see the big picture and identify your main goal, the one thing that you want to achieve most in your life. For instance, this could be your overall career goal. Second, on a more practical, short-term level, the focusing question helps you prioritize your immediate options and choose the most effective task to start with. Here, you are looking for the one thing you can do right now, like make the phone call. The first level is about finding the right direction in life, while the second is about picking the right action for right now. Asking yourself the focusing question regularly will not only keep you focused on your goal, but also provide you with actionable steps that build on one another, creating progress and momentum. Keep asking it, and you might be surprised at what you can achieve. The key to a disciplined life lies in forming habits one by one. When we think of highly successful people like Bill Gates, we often believe his remarkable success comes from the incredible self-discipline that allowed him to learn computer programming during his early years. This level of discipline might seem like an unattainable goal. How do successful people maintain such discipline? Discipline! Upon closer examination, we find that their success comes not from constantly applying immense discipline to staying focused and motivated, but rather from using discipline selectively to develop lasting good habits. The story of Michael Phelps is an insightful example. He is widely respected for his focus and discipline, but as a child, he was diagnosed with attention deficit hyperactivity disorder. Deficit hyperactivity. Labels. It seemed he would never be able to concentrate on anything. Like sitting down, writing a bunch of essays at school. Anyway, so how did he change his situation? He directed all of his discipline into forming one habit: swimming every day. For almost a decade, from age 14 through the Beijing Olympics, he trained 7 days a week, 365 days a year. Starting with one habit is just the beginning. Habits are easier to maintain than to start. So once something becomes a habit, you can shift your discipline to form a new one and build them one after another. For instance, you could begin by arriving at the office 30 minutes early every day to clear your inbox before your coworkers arrive. Once this habit is established, you can build on it by focusing your discipline on concentrating on a specific task for longer, uninterrupted periods of time. After this habit is formed, you can move on to the next one. Creating positive habits by applying discipline selectively will give you the appearance and benefits of a disciplined life without needing extraordinary self-discipline. Multitasking is highly inefficient. Choose one task and focus on it completely. These days, many people believe multitasking is a productive thing to do. We usually think of it as doing 2 or more things at the same time. However, the term was originally created to describe a computer using a single processor to work on multiple tasks, quickly switching back and forth between them. This distinction is quite revealing. While we can do some things simultaneously, like walk and talk, I can talk while I'm doing pretty much anything. I can talk while I'm listening. Just ask any girl I've ever dated. We cannot effectively concentrate on 2 tasks at the same time. Often, when we think we are multitasking, we are actually juggling multiple tasks and shifting our focus from one to the other, going back and forth quickly, just like a computer. Studies have shown that for humans, switching tasks comes with a time penalty because it takes time for the mind to shift from one task to refocusing on another. This time cost might be small for simpler tasks like walking and talking, but it increases significantly when one of the tasks are more complex. For instance, if you are working on a complex spreadsheet and a coworker interrupts you to discuss a challenging business issue, Time will be lost when you switch back to the spreadsheet and try to remember where you left off and what you were trying to accomplish and what thought process you were in. Throughout the day, these time penalties accumulate, especially in the workplace. It is estimated that on average, office workers are distracted every 11 minutes and spend up to a third of their workday recovering from interruptions. Can you really afford to lose a third of your workday? Determine what is most important at the moment and give it your full attention. Your willpower is like a fuel tank. Use it wisely, or you might run out when it is most needed. Most people do not know their willpower is not unbreakable. Some people think of their willpower as this never-ending source of infinite energy. Surprisingly, research has shown that our willpower is not a constant resource, but instead drains at different rates throughout the day, depending on which activities we are doing and how stressed we are. For instance, our willpower is used up when we make decisions, concentrate, control our emotions, or change our behavior to achieve a goal. When our willpower is depleted, we are less able to use it for additional tasks that require this resource. This might explain why it is hard to resist a tempting snack after making tough decisions or doing tedious work. Succumbing to a guilty pleasure is one thing, but making crucial decisions with low levels of current willpower can have much more serious consequences. For prisoners, few decisions are as vital as the ruling at their next parole board hearing. Can something as random as the time of the day influence such decisions? Research involving Israeli parole judges reveals that yes, it can. Judges were more likely to grant favorable judgments at the beginning of the day. This is because the judges tended to rely on default decisions, which was no parole, as the day progressed and their willpower decreased. The rate of favorable judgments increased again after breaks and snacks. To maintain strong willpower, you need a full tank of gas. So, plan your day to avoid making key decisions or judgments when your willpower is running low. Saying no to less important tasks is crucial for concentrating your efforts on the most important ones. We all find it difficult to say no to requests at times because we want to be helpful. Helping others can be very rewarding, but to save your time and energy for your biggest goals, you need to say no to lower priority requests. Steve Jobs was famously proud of the projects he did not pursue, as well as the ones he did. When he returned to Apple in 1997, he reduced the company's output from 350 products to 10. That's a lot of no's. At a developers conference in 1997, he explained, quote, "When you think about focusing, you think, well, focusing is about saying yes. No. Focusing is about saying no." Saying no to people all the time does not have to seem cold or selfish. You can always try to offer an alternative solution that does not need your help or direct them to someone who can be more helpful. Also, consider using strategies to reduce the requests you receive, such as asking staff to check a list of frequently asked questions before approaching you. This may help, but remember, sometimes you will still have to actually turn people down to succeed. With limited time and resources, you must be willing to say no to minor tasks if you want to focus your energy and complete the most important ones. Having a purpose and visualizing the steps to reach your goal will help guide you towards exceptional results. Imagine for a moment that you do not have any specific goals or ambitions right now. Without direction, how could you decide what to do each day? Do you think you could keep working on a challenging and monotonous task without knowing why you are doing it? When we consider this situation, we understand how crucial it is to have a goal to pursue. A goal gives your life extra meaning and purpose, leading to clearer thoughts, more determined actions, and quicker decision-making. Most importantly, knowing why you are doing what you are doing offers inspiration and motivation when challenges arise. With a goal in mind, you can begin planning the steps to achieve it. It is even more beneficial if you also visualize each step along the way, because it motivates you and prepares you for the journey ahead. A study of students demonstrated these positive effects. When taking a test, students were asked to visualize either the test's outcome or the process of preparing for and taking the test. Those who visualized the process experienced higher motivation levels, better preparation, and ultimately better results. Now imagine that you have discovered your passion. You want to climb the tallest mountain in the world, Mount Everest. Your goal is suddenly crystal clear, a beacon shining in your mind. It is the one thing you want to do. Now you need to research, start training, and acquire the right equipment. Thanks to your goal, you are already making plans, visualizing the steps, and moving towards it. Setting a goal, the one thing we want to do and achieve in life, is something we should all aim for. Do not sacrifice your personal life for your professional goals. Instead, manage your work time effectively and prioritize. We all aim to achieve a balanced life, allocating our time equally among the things that matter most to us. But we often do not question why and what we are trying to achieve. It is understandable that we seek balance because our work and personal life demands both seem so important. However, this vision of a balanced life is not only unattainable, but also undesirable. If you try to do everything, you will end up compromising on everything, both personally and professionally. Author James Patterson captured this dilemma, saying, quote, "Imagine life is a game in which you are juggling 5 balls. They are called work, family, health, your friends, and integrity. And you're keeping them all in the air, juggling. But one day, you finally come to understand that the work ball is made of rubber. If you drop it, it will bounce back. But the 4 other balls, well, they're made of glass." The quote again, I don't know if he talks like that. The quote highlights that we should not jeopardize our personal priorities when faced with work pressure. The damage may be irreversible. But if our personal life always comes first, how can we succeed professionally? The key is to manage your work time effectively and prioritize your professional goals. In your personal life, neglecting any aspect can be dangerous. But in your work life, you have your top priority and everything else is flexible. Occasionally, lower priorities will need to be reduced, put on hold, or handled by someone else until your most important tasks are done. This approach allows you to concentrate on your most crucial work, providing the focus needed to achieve outstanding results. To concentrate on your main goal, you need efficient time management strategies and the willingness to accept some chaos in other areas. Suppose you have found your primary focus, the crucial priority you need to achieve, and have a well-defined path outlining the steps to reach your goal. You are ready to conquer the world. But there's one small issue. Life does not have a pause button. While you are diligently working on your masterpiece, the world does not wait patiently for you to complete it. Other tasks and people will inevitably demand your attention. Imagine you are trying to secure a significant contract at work. You'll need to make sacrifices, and your regular work may accumulate or be delegated to coworkers. As chaos increases in other areas, so does the pressure to address them. Learn to cope with this by trusting that focusing on your top priority will pay off, ultimately simplifying other aspects of your life. In short, allow the chaos to build. So, how can you maximize your time while focusing on your main goal? Schedule blocks of time dedicated to working on your primary objective. Commit to those blocks of time and protect them as if they were your most crucial appointments. Additionally, make sure your physical environment does not hinder your productivity. Minimize potential distractions wherever you work, and consider finding an alternative location if necessary. Employing techniques like these will enable you to give your main goal the attention it deserves. Here is your cheat sheet. Success comes from concentrating on a single goal, not multiple ones. When working on your primary objective, avoid obstacles that hold you back from success. Learn to focus on what truly matters and excel in those areas. How can you set your goals and prioritize your work? Do not limit your opportunities by thinking small. Prioritize your tasks. Not all of them are equally important. Using the focusing question will help you prioritize, develop actionable steps, and achieve your goals. Ask, how can you stay focused on your goal? Building habits sequentially is the key to a disciplined life. Multitasking is highly inefficient. Choose one task and devote your full attention to it. Your willpower acts like a fuel tank. Use it wisely, or it may run out when you need it most. Say no to unimportant tasks to concentrate your efforts on the most crucial ones. Ask, how can I achieve outstanding results while pursuing my primary goal? Living with purpose and visualizing the steps to reach your goal will lead to exceptional results. Do not sacrifice your personal life for professional goals. Instead, prioritize efficiency during your work time. To focus on your main goal, adopt effective time management strategies, and in other areas of your life, be ready to accept a little chaos. This concludes The One Thing.